Repeat the sound after me, write all the ways it could be. Hug your feet together, flat on the ground. Shh. Eh. Last one. Ooh. Jimmy, can you do that L again from the top to the bottom, please? A digraph is when?
Two letters and one sound.
I might want to spell the word chip. Let's sound it out together. Chip. Chip. One more time, phone and fingers. Chip. What two letters makes sh? Sophia. Good work. Sheep. And what two letters makes sh in sheep?
S-H.
Good. S-H. I read. We read. You read. Chip. Chip.
Chip.
With. Together. With. On your own. With or with. My tongue is through my teeth. Together. With. So with our guided practice, it's definitely the I do, we do, you do stage. So that's what you saw with me on the floor. I might model them an example, we do an example together, and then they do it on their own. With the guidance of me being there, helping any students that still need that scaffolding. But that's also a really good chance for me to understand whether they've understood it, check for their understanding, and all of the students can then have that opportunity to respond. Seb, what is making the sh in shot?
S-H.
Good boy. It's definitely to identify who might need another step up, who might not have understood even just the questioning behind it, or who might be lacking a little bit of the content understanding. So having that instant sort of check there can be really beneficial. So the way we have our rows seated, as well as the use of the whiteboards, make sure that I can at the same time as teaching be ensuring that all of the students have their best understanding. I don't have to be right near the student. I can just have a quick seek to who's at the back, have a quick correction and then move on. And it just gives that assurance that I've got all students across the board doing the right thing at the right time. Because every second counts in the classroom, it's really important that the efficiency is there for me to just quickly have a quick glance, double checking, and then being able to move on, or stopping when I need to stop, not being afraid to take it right back and checking for the understanding again. I think it gives them a really big confidence boost, but it also helps make sure that there's no misconceptions that haven't been unseen, so that they're not going through a lesson or multiple lessons and I've not corrected a way of forming a letter or a specific spelling rule, and then it comes to the point of where I'm checking their book and I'm thinking, oh, what's gone on here? So having that sort of that instant, very one-to-one straight away check-in, there's not any point throughout the lesson where I'm not getting that opportunity for the students to respond, and I'm not getting an opportunity for them to be able to fix any of their misconceptions.
When I came here and walking around the school, there are 11 different things going on at different times. So the alignment of literacy at the same time, the alignment of mathematics at the same time, the way in which we explicitly or structure our learning up was different in each and every one of those classrooms. So 11 different versions of how we do things. And so we work really hard in that space to strip it all back. I know when I walk the length of a corridor or walk into classrooms, I knew when I opened up a door, okay, literacy is being taught at this hour. I know what aspect of literacy was going to be taught at that hour. If I was going in after break, for example, numeracy was going to be taught at that hour across the entire school. So the children then knew when they were moving through the building, this was literacy, this was numeracy. And the other thing that we also noticed was we looked at the way in which we were delivering it, the type of practices that we were using. Some were on board with our new way of thinking in terms of our explicit teaching practices, what I knew was best practice, and we started to deliver that and drip feed across the school, and we just started to see this beautiful spike in our data, because for example, both grade 1 teachers were doing it the same. Both grade 2 teachers were doing the same practices, and that's what we worked on. Neurodiverse children who need predictability, needed a consistent way of delivering subject matter. Their behaviour or their capacity to engage in learning changed, and it was almost felt like overnight. At the end of the day, it was actually, arguably the best transformation I've ever seen over my journey, and I could not have been more proud of the staff. They were incredible.
Here we go, on your boards. Same process. James arrived at school at 8:50 a.m. and he left school at 3:10 p.m. Pretty similar to your school day. How long was he here for? We just saw a really good example on the board. I want you guys to try and replicate what you saw, marking in all the important information. Show your jumps, show your hours, show your minutes. Good girl, so now you're at 8:50, it's now what time? 59. Take on the hour off. Before you get to hovering it, I really want you guys to check you're happy with your answer, because we have done a lot of these. And I really want all of us to be like, yep, nailed it. This timetable is written in 12-hour format. Who can tell me, how do we know that this is written in 12-hour format? Have a quick turn and talk to the person next to you. Logan, can you tell us?
It's because on the chart it says there's AM and PM.
Yeah.
If it was 24 hours, it wouldn't say that, and it would say like 21 o'clock or something.
Not 21 o'clock, 2100?
2100.
Yeah, perfect, excellent. The scope and sequence is really good for identifying, I guess, a bit of a roadmap for learning. So it gives us a really good indication of what kids have got, the skills they're equipped with already, what we need to give them now in our teaching, and then where we want to move going forward. We're really lucky too in that the scope and sequence that we use at Sacred Heart, we've taken from OCA, we've taken from the curriculum and from other schools, and it builds as we move through the year level. So we can be confident that the skills the kids have learnt in prep and the junior years as they get up into the senior years, we can continue to build on those as well. So before checking for understanding, we really try to make sure we've set the children up for success. So things like using a learning intention, our success criteria, really explicitly modelling throughout the lesson what success looks like is really important, because then through the modelled examples, through the use of their whiteboards, they've managed to practice a lot before you throw to the check for understanding, and you can be confident that the children will achieve success because of how explicit we've been in our modelling. Professional learning has been huge. I've been at Sacred Heart for a couple of years now, and we're very lucky in that all of our meetings are about professional learning, and everything we do here is evidence-based. So we get the opportunity to constantly be looking at our practice. We can refine because we're constantly talking about things that are working within how we teach and the things that we need to improve on. And knowing that it's all coming from a really school approach is fantastic, because it keeps our teaching so structured, so focused and really, really intentional, which means the kids are getting the best opportunity to learn. When I first started here, the mantra was teach the stuff and cut the fluff, and I think that's what explicit teaching really helps you do. I think that's a good reminder to all teachers. We can get into sort of the way that we've done it for a long time, and we're not checking that our practice is matching the needs of the kids today. And I find at Sacred Heart, because of the way that we go about it, it's really helped streamline my teaching and making sure I'm teaching the right stuff. Good, I've even got a number line here, good girl. Are we happy with 1:41 p.m? Yeah, me too, good job.
When reviewing the curriculum, we were very lucky. Simon College joined our community. Kate and I were in the middle of doing our masters, and it was the perfect storm because we all aligned with our way of thinking.
When we first began, I was working in the intervention space, and I was just finding that what they were doing in the classroom didn't align with what I was doing in intervention. So I went off and I did the MSL training and worked through a phonics scope and sequence with the Preps to 2 teachers with aligning that. We also looked at our writing and building our model to start with the basics. So our writing started with a who and a do, as opposed to a genre model. It might be, in the past it was a procedural text in grade prep, learning how to tie a shoelace or something like that, but we wanted them to have the basics and the building blocks particularly with our writing and our phonics scope and sequence in the early years.
We started small. We didn't look at the whole picture. We didn't look at the whole school. We looked solely at our junior school, our P2s, and started to refine that. Kate and I were in the classroom at the time, so that helped. We also had to structure up our school in a way to help us implement the curriculum to the best of its ability, in the sense that we structured up our Tier 1, our Tier 2 and our Tier 3 intervention. Our leadership roles became more defined. Kate and I came out of the classroom in order to assist the teachers. We then visited other schools to see how they were running it in the classrooms. We listened to podcasts, we did the reading. We weren't just taking what was being offered, we went and sought. I'm afraid to say we became very invested and very nerdy through that time, sharing articles that we'd read or sharing podcasts that we'd listened to. It goes beyond necessarily what our curriculum says. It's not just what we're teaching, it's how we're teaching it. And we started to look at how good teachers deliver lessons effectively. So we were looking at our engagement norms. We were invested in cognitive load theory. Our teachers really learnt about the why behind what makes a great teacher, not just how to do it. So the why behind what makes an environment an appropriate environment, and how teachers effectively deliver a lesson to a whole class. So we really made sure that I wouldn't say a cookie cutter effect, but every class has the same approaches, and a teacher, I suppose, brings their own personality to that. Really, a low variance curriculum helps those students that struggle with learning.
To begin with, to ensure that it built over time and days and weeks and year levels, we looked at our timetable and we made sure that we had 2 hours of literacy in per day. We also made sure that we had an hour of maths per day. Literacy was our focus at the beginning. So we looked at structuring that up. We also, with our intervention space, worked on a double the dosage model. So for example, if they were coming out for intervention, they didn't miss key learning components in the literacy block as well. So that may be once a week that they missed out on that. So we changed our assessment pieces and implemented dibbles. And once we started to get that turnover, the staff became really invested in wanting to do better because they began to see their data turn quickly. Consistency between classrooms was implemented through our planning model as well. Teachers planned together. At the very beginning, I was in the classroom as well, so I was intervention plus in the classroom 2 days, and our learning and teaching leader was in there she was full-time in the classroom at that point as well. So both her and I were in planning consistently, and it was just the drive from that and being in the classroom. We really needed to be in that space to be modelling what it looked like. We needed to be at the forefront, so to say, that we were modelling that. We were, okay, this works, this doesn't work, what are we going to do next, where are we going to next, but really just leading in the classroom.
We've got really good resources and really good lessons planned now, and what we do is, in our planning time, we intellectually prepare each year for the class that's sitting in front of us. We use resources that we know are evidence-based and align with how we teach. We are using the ochre slides. Our staff don't just press play with those slides. They sit down as a team, they unpack the slides together, they look at where their class is at the moment and prepare the resources for the context in which they're in. No longer are the days where we sit down every year and reinvent the wheel each time. Our planning is purposeful. We're using our data that we're continually collecting as well to guide where we go to next. It's not just we move on once we've completed a number of weeks. We progress monitor our students to make sure that we're hitting the mark, and if we're not, we come back together, we discuss different ways that we could tackle this, and we continually evolve our planning.
Well, it's my privilege to be here at Sacred Heart, and I knew about the explicit teaching model from my previous school, and I had walked through as an observer. Coming here, it's really exciting hearing the talk in the staff room with the teachers, the learning support officers. Everyone here is to move all the children forward. Every child is discussed, looked at, are they doing what they should be doing? And I walk along the corridor and the teaching that's happening, there's just no fluff. And they often say they just take the fluff out of everything. It's explicit, a prep, year 1, year 2, you walk along that corridor, upstairs in year 6. It's really exciting times to see. And I'm learning so much as an educator too, from the research and the journey they've been on.